3, 2, 1. Tetris. Tris.
Players are playing on seed DA19B7 if you want to try it out at home.
Oh, we are having issues with capture. Hold on.
Oh, wait, Scotto isn't actually showing on this.
Yes, I'm fixing it right now.
Okay.
Never mind. Hold on.
Yeah,
there we go. We're good.
It's solved. Wren has solved all of our technical problems and shown that it is actually a 2-point game. Scotto having pressed down for 2 points.
Scotto is Tetris ready, though, so I'm just about to break this game wide open. Right here. Boom.
Aoife choosing to burn this one down piece by piece. No aggressive Tetris clears on the way down, just setting it up nice and safe. You see that Scotto is playing DAS for 18. Leads to a more consistent play, but definitely doesn't have the same sort of speed for especially the high up digs, so Scotto is trying to make sure that he doesn't find himself high up. Aoife, however, rolling, can keep playing as high up as the board gets. On level 18, you can really just place a piece at the top with rolling without, well, some stress, but without it being impossible. It's a huge difference in play styles. However, Scotto will switch to rolling whenever the situation calls for it. Something which I've heard called the Tetris Time Special.
That actually happened last time because of a classic Tetris, classic. I don't know. What was I gonna say? Something.
The classic Tetris Time Special got
through.
It happened last time because of Scotto switching because of something. I know Scotto played some DAS 19 in the match against Sasha in Xeno.
I think he said he got a little in trouble on that switch.
Yes.
Fun online fact. My first ever competitive match against Scotto was in secret grade as a side event in the 2022 CTWC. I lost. Aoife, getting a bar over, it's going to be hard to get anywhere further from this. Oh my goodness. This is still technically survivable thanks to the insanity of rolling, but the pieces did not make it possible.
And in
3,
2,
1,
Tetris!
I ruined everything. I ruined a thing. I bring ruin and despair to the grounds upon which I sit. Uh-oh, there's a misdrop there for Scotto pretty early.
Oh, look what he did.
He's choosing to take that flat J and flat L, which is an absolutely beautiful solve. Early goings here. It is a game decided by less than a Tetris.
Game decided by heart.
True.
Aoife keeping that open in the middle for a tuck, but now there's quite a lot of spires on left and right side of her board.
Alright.
She's going to have to settle for a triple next time the bar comes because this does not look like a solve that is going to be taken down from the top. If a bar even comes, we are 20 pieces deep in a drought. There we go.
As soon as you say it, the bar comes.
Yeah.
That's the reverse commentator's curse.
I just have to call out that there's a drought, and then suddenly the drought is ended because no cool droughts are going to happen. No 100-piece
And a
droughts.
Tetris for...
Both players.
There we go. Yeah, both players there. I was going to say one of their names, and then I was going to say the other, and I blanked on what both meant.
You ever forget how words...
Oh, all the time. All the time. I'm constantly forgetting how words.
Aoife not taking that triple here, waiting for it to be a proper Tetris. The board does not accommodate a square.
Let's see here. How is... Oh, the spin.
Spin hit.
We've seen people miss that spin before.
We have. It is a very missable spin.
Highly missable. What?
Missable, yeah. Missable fluids.
I didn't know that that was a chemistry thing. I never paid attention to
It
chemistry.
refers to the mixability.
Which is funny. You're so right.
Chemists like to be differenter.
Yo, Annie maxed. Annie Shark maxed.
Annie Shark got a max out.
Yeah.
1007. Nicely done. Aoife, after getting out of that dig, is now down by 107,000 points.
That's comebackable.
You can definitely come back.
That's
This
also a
is the
chemistry
game of
term.
Tetris. You ever want to know the difference between a chemist and a plumber? Ask them to... Well, this doesn't work vocally, but unionized and unionized are spelled the same, okay?
Except the chemist will use safety ionized, but let's not think about that.
Thank you for typing it in chat so the joke is still funny.
I will do anything to make the bit funnier.
Scotto setting up a tuck there now ends up having to take burns and blocked well, but the blocked well happens during a drought, which ends because I said the word drought.
Yep. It's highly unfortunate. I think we're just going to not commentate on any more droughts so that we avoid... Or, I'll just commentate on the droughts, because it never happens when I do it.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
only players.
unfortunately the one who can summon the long bar, and I'm so cruel that I'll shut up.
We want to see these players have interesting solves, not get saved by the long bar. And a Tetris for Scotto there. About five Tetrises.
Scotto 400,000 before 90 lines. That is a very strong...
That's a good pace.
Yeah, very strong pace.
That's a solid pace. This is very max outable.
Maxable out.
Matt,
The song is maxed out.
maxable?
Song is maxed out. I thought I heard people say maxed.
Max outable?
This can be maxed if your name is Max.
Everything can be max if your name is Max.
Yeah.
You get another shot to do that.
Every point is post-transition if you were transitioned.
That's true. I got a 200k post.
Nice.
271k post, actually.
Nice.
Someone put that inside.
That's my PB.
I know. Aoife looking at S's.
Ooh, interesting tuck into a spin for Scotto. Tucked the, which one is that? That one? What's that one?
I can't see your hand because I'm watching the gameplay.
That one.
Tucked that one into the space that fits that one.
Thing in the spot.
What?
It's inside. the
Aoife
spot.
with a
I prefer being in a union to be
J
without
dependency on the
ions.
left, but panicked in the previous placement, so didn't get the J there in time. This is now becoming pretty sketchy. That takes a lot of height down. That makes it a little safer. That line, if it gets left, which it does, keeps her safe.
Otuck? Oh, no Otuck.
Scotto's got space for an O-tuck. You could look over on that screen. Oh, instead,
That's an interesting skim. I don't think it's a bad skim. I think it's an interesting skim.
Scotto's about to transition with the next Tetris. Aoife transitions 432.
Scotto on a, what will it be, 490 with the Tetris?
It's going to be 578.
578.
432 to 578 at transition. That is a 140,000 point game.
And
However, it is the Tetris game, and so it can go anywhere from here.
absolutely anywhere. There's many places this can go. Usually up.
Up? Yeah, I mean, started from the bottom, now we're here, is like the Tetris song. Now the whole stack way up here. Scotto gets that line in. Still playing with Das on 19. Is waiting until it requires a roll switch before roll switching. This might be for comfort. This might be...
I think it's because he can't really comfortably roll switch. Like last time he roll switched, we had a couple of blocks that were not in their right place.
Okay. Aoife making a misdrop there.
That's easily recoverable though. That's a one block with a long bar.
Yeah, she's deciding to burn it down from the top, which means that her stack is higher, but her efficiency has a better potential.
I think that's smart in this position too. Like that's a...
Oh, that missed T is now gonna really mess up her parody.
I've never once thought about parody in my life.
Yeah, well, yours is pretty bad right now.
Dang!
Cognito hazard. It's only on me that I'm looking at your stack and cringing. You're looking at your stack and thinking this is fine. It is also a solvable stack, and she is solving it.
You're pretty bad to have an unsolvable stack.
Yeah, I mean...
It's when you're blocked out.
Insoluble stack.
That's a chemistry term.
Invisible?
super saturated stack.
Oh, good eye that piece can go...
Oh no.
Trials and
This is going to be a very
she gets
hard
that over
dig.
left. That manages. That manages. That perfect piece for the right.
That is
opens up the next
great piece
perfect
sequence. That is amazing piece placements. Place placements.
Okay, going kind of all in on too wide bottom for the right.
Long bar over, good.
She hasn't gotten a Tetris out of this, but she is surviving, and survival can get you pretty far. However, Scotto has built up a 245,000 point lead while he's been digging.
And she is 8 lines ahead currently, so she does not have quite the runway that Scotto has.
All the bars are arriving for Aoife when her well is covered. She does open it, and then covers it immediately before the bar shows up. This has been a suffer post for Aoife.
Oh, that could be... Oh, unfortunate.
That wasn't intentional.
And that'll be it.
Scotto takes...
Scotto will take game
two.
number 3.
3. Let Scotto cook.
Mullining.
This does require some...
Mullen in progress.
Alright, with now only 2 Tetris available, Scotto would need to set up for an extra
Oh!
switch.
Roll switches. Is that a double Vits? No, it's a Vits and a triple.
1.75.
It's a Vit.
We need to have the,
Ooh. That could be an issue. Oh! Doesn't get it over. 954.
Scotto with a 954 to take game number 3 and hit second.
Alright.
Set up on the new seed, we are...
3, 2, 1, Tetris! You got the intense music going now.
Oh, Scotto with the adjustment there to set up the tuck for the square. That is some insightful play.
Scotto currently on game point.
And 1 point. And the T-spin adjustment.
T-spin.
That is some brutally clever play.
We got like 3 adjustments in like 12 pieces. We were getting spoiled there.
3 adjustments before a Tetris.
That's wild.
Aoife there, missing a piece. Now has a little bit of a garbage in her stack and is going to need to get something to the left before she can burn. She does that. The burns are resolving. She gets it back down. Aoife is very good at peacementing.
That's
says
true.
The chat.
That is the tense of peacementing. I don't know what tense it is, but it's one of them. Active? I don't know.
present progressive.
What?
Present progressive.
Present progressive.
Gerund tense.
Exactly.
Gerund Freeman. Shout out to Gerund Freeman.
Jared Freeman.
Gerund. Gerund.
Oh, we got the
Keytuck. Oh, never mind. No Keytuck.
No. Or we got the adjustment.
I didn't see it. Which side?
No. It was the Scotto did the whatever. It's on report.
Well, yeah. Okay, sure. Even with a Tetris, that's important.
And viewers like you are all very important as well.
Remember, exclamation point match arena. We're currently at $255. All funds.
That's the
go
8-bit
to our
number.
winners. That is the maximum. Well, it actually has.
It's the maximum unsigned 8-bit number.
Well, no, but we have cents, so it actually is. We need to get to 25565, right?
Oh, 65536.
6. No.
$655.36, and we
No,
would
no, no.
have-
Two. What's the 255 one?
It's just 255.
No, there's a higher one, isn't there?
No, 65,536 is the 16.
Oh, I always get them mixed up. I'm thinking of the Minecraft port number. The default Minecraft server port, 25565.
Aoife opening up the well here. Gets the Tetris. 63 lines, 247,000. This is on pace for about 490 transition.
I like the placements from Scotto here. Going for a good amount of tucks, going for some nice setups. A spin.
It's one thing to note that, yeah, the more surface your stack has, even if it can make it a little awkward with stack bumpiness, a larger amount of surface means that you have better accommodation because more pieces can go in more places. It's not necessarily easier to play, and in some cases it can lead to disaster quicker, but the accommodation of a board with setups in it is actually better than accommodation of a flat board.
I mean, like, ideally you want to have accommodation for every possible piece.
Yep.
Right?
And possibly accommodation in multiple ways so that you can make sure that whatever choice you make among the pieces options is one that leaves your future board the best. Even noticing there that the L makes the I go in nicely, that's a good spot.
Unfortunately, the downstacking just not giving the right pieces to get this piece of garbage clear, but finally
Open.
finds the solve.
It's open.
It's honestly a lot of solves in this game are just kind of dealing with the piece RNG and burning down and not increasing.
Yeah, there's a question about when do you stop holding out for the piece that part of your stack really needs. And sometimes if you bail too early, you get punished. If you hold out too long, you get really punished. Trying to get that vibe check of when it's the right time to put a piece in that spot, whether it fits or not, is a very difficult part of high-level Tetris.
Well, and burns are so important for, like, good burning is just such an important skill to have, and Nestris.org, which launched recently, is really helpful with that with the puzzles.
True, the puzzle mode, which is now available in the official launch site, is able to give you challenges and then have an AI test whether you found the solution that it thinks is best.
And usually it's correct.
StackRabbit does have some of the best statistics of any playing entity. I would not call it a player, but it is a playing entity. So it is generally good to learn from StackRabbit in this case.
It does have some interesting... I remember earlier it used to really like having J dependencies in 1 too.
Mm-hmm.
But they fixed that a good amount. So now it's much less biased towards it.
10 lines from transition now.
Yep.
Aoife is at 411. Scotto is at 563 and chooses to take that T-burn as a spin. Bro is cooking.
Interesting
Scotto's
burns
gonna
here.
600k transition here unless the bar's not coming.
The bar comes.
Bar comes, but he
But
already burned it down.
Burned it down, yeah.
There
There's
we
the
go.
bar.
600k transition.
618 into transition is wild.
Aoife
And that's
gets
a
the
consistent.
transition with
What?
what? You missed the Tetris. Oh,
Missed
you
the
missed
tuck.
the tuck.
And I started walking.
Talking while playing is a hazard, but Aoife has a appetite.
The appetite for danger.
Slight bias
Oh,
towards
dear.
some pieces in the NES Tetris randomizer. Yeah, but it was beyond even that. It was like it really wants this setup every single time it's possible to have this setup. Which, if it was like 2 different pieces or like 3 different pieces, because obviously you can fill it with a long bar, that'd be fine. But
Aoife's holding out on that left. Oh, the bar comes while the left is still not open. But now the left is open. It is resolved. It is flat. That is a happy left.
yep.
Not about to rise in a revolution.
That was a little bit of a slow burn from the crowd.
It took me a second.
A Tetris. We're seeing Scotto have about a 172,000 point lead.
Oh, Scotto with that brilliant square placement to burn that flat. And
I think-
doesn't have to drop anything down into the well.
That was a really smart pieceman.
Square from 8-9 to 9-10 is a really smart play a lot of the time.
It goes in the square hole.
It goes in the square hole. It's a 3 Tetris game right now. Aoife is ahead by 5 lines, so it is quite in reach for her. She is currently trailing 635 to 735.
Aoife is
Confident 19.
Yeah, they're definitely a very capable player and definitely could
Send this to a decider.
yeah, send this to a decider. Definitely could, you know, make this.
Scotto
But
gets
Scotto dirty
center
Tetris.
well Tetris on 24 with Das. Scotto is playing much more aggressively with Das than I think. It makes sense if you know you have a roll switch in the bag. Like if you start to realize, oh, I'm in trouble. You have like 6 different you have 6 different height to work with before your roll is starting to be scared. And here we see Scotto making the switch. Aoife's center is so clean here.
Oh yeah, just absolute
Beautiful.
milk center. Honestly,
Aoife made that burn, didn't get her Tetris ready, so she had
Another
a bar
Tetris,
in
yep.
9. That is an Aki bar. That is a little dangerous. But
and she's closing the gap. Honestly,
Scotto making a misdrop. Aoife's actually going to take the lead with this next Tetris. Aoife's down by a single burn away, and Scotto is in the middle of a dig. With this Tetris, now Scotto has to Tetris or he will lose.
oh,
It's
oh,
over. Scotto
And that'll be it.
solved it. So Aoife sends it to a decider.
Aoife will take it to a game 5 in 3, 2, 1.
Tetris!
And honestly, this semifinal has felt almost like a final.
It's like a final here, yeah.
It's been a very, very solid back and forth trading.
Amazingly, the 3 S's in a row here, Scotto placed them all horizontally and Aoife placed them all vertically. And now Aoife's board has spires in it.
Who would have thought?
It turns out that if you place a bunch of the same piece vertically, you get spires.
Let's go, Aoife!
You're saying this is finals quality?
I'd say this is finals quality.
Yeah.
I'd say that this has been a very, very good set.
Yes.
There's been a lot of hype moments in Aura, as you want.
What is Aoife's PB? Does she have a 1.2?
On 19.
Aoife has a 19 start 1.2. Hey, you and me both. My only 1.2 is on 19.
Me too.
Final Tetris.
We are out here being rivals.
My
Scotto,
rival is Zach. Oh, I don't.
Scotto's PB is 1.5 at least. However, in a game that hasn't already had the P sequence solved, it might not be that high.
I forgot about this song.
Okay.
I always tune it out.
Scotto here in a little bit of a struggle with a bar dependency and a deep channel.
Takes the burn. Takes the same burn.
Well,
I think that's a
spotted.
good small. That's a great solve. That's a great solve.
Aoife is playing at the top of the board during this drought. Scotto spent a lot of the beginning of the drought cleaning out the well, and here I've gone and said drought, and it's still happening. That's
What
the
the heck?
decider. Decider is stronger-willed than I am. Aoife manages to get a Tetris with the second of 2 bars. Scotto here, okay, opens the well. One of the bars comes. Oh, the L spin tuck there,
That's impressive.
and we're back to safety.
I forgot that that's how you have to do that in this game because I'm so used to
TGM,
TGM.
sliding it around
Yeah,
on
being
the
able to slide it around.
slippery
Like
floor.
yeah.
TGM gives you socks on a hardwood floor, and NES Tetris gives you rubber shoes.
Like grippy socks.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's a better analogy. NES Tetris is the grippy socks game.
Yeah.
Getting sent to.
Grippy sock vacation.
But it's just playing NES Tetris, forcing all the TGM players in my life to.
That's not gonna make a difference.
Is it your mix up like trampoline park or mix up?
We don't know
Trampoline
that.
park.
Yeah, trampoline, yeah.
Because you know, if you roll too hard, you get physically injured, just like a trampoline park.
Aoife holding on to a 2 Tetris lead after Scotto had to make those digs.
I think this
Aoife's
is.
kept it clean this whole game.
Yeah, this is a very good game 5 from Aoife.
It's a very game right now. We're so gaming.
It's so game. Honestly, the best strategy, just
game.
game.
Aoife's gaming right now. That's why she's ahead by 28,000 points.
Say that.
The home field advantage right at home here at Reed College, psychology board. Psychology room 105.
Building. We are here in the psych ward of Reed College, where all the students who have lost their marbles have to hide for a while.
We don't know how true that is.
What's going on here?
Psych majors, are you okay?
I had a conversation with a physics major earlier. Reminded me of my good times in college as a physics major.
I have no comment on college because I went to PCC, the community college here, for like a little bit, and then I was like, this isn't for me.
Exact same.
And now I'm just chilling.
Working.
Yeah.
Chase Bank.
Uh,
Scotto's built up very high in the center, waiting for a J for the left, and puts a long bar on the left to make there a little bit easier to solve.
interesting solve by Scotto. I think that's a good solve, but it's a very interesting place to be in with a very deep left and right well.
Because of context, it is reasonable, although that was a very important moment to have Das, and I think Scotto might have done a quick tap to check Das. It is a 70,000 point game, 3 Tetrises.
Three
Aoife is
Tetrises.
currently leading.
Aoife is playing a very, very good game here. This is gaming right here.
Aoife's building out so that the right is the only place for the well. There was an opportunity there to plug the right and use the center well as a new Tetris channel, but Aoife wants to keep this safe, keep this sane, get her points the way that she wants them.
Out of the side.
Out of the seg ward. Scotto, however, is setting up for an off-center high Tetris.
Off-center dirty Tetris. Let's go.
Scotto managing to get that bar in before transition. Aoife's going to take a Tetris, and then the next line clear will send her to transition. She transitions at 517, her highest transition score of this set.
Is it?
Yeah,
That should have. No, you're right.
Scotto's been the one who's gotten the higher transition.
Yeah.
Scotto, with that adjustment for the square, is going to transition at 510, so it is a close game.
Yeah, this is neck and neck, honestly.
Back in that.
Neck and neck.
Neck and neck. I don't even know how to do a deep voice anymore.
Potty mouth.
More Tetris than you can handle.
More Tetris than you can fit in your mouth.
I thought Tank was bad.
Is Tang still here? I think Tang left.
I'm still here.
Scotto's up rather high for a DAS player.
I don't know.
Nobody could look this up.
Tang is still here. Let's go. No, we ate all the gummies. Unfortunately, they're all gone. We did not get more Tetris than we can eat. We got like less Tetris than we
Bite off
can
more
eat.
Tetris than you can chew.
Me when I start 19, honestly.
Scotto has to roll switch. He manages to pull off the roll switch without topping out and is now going to roll to try to solve this stack. Down by half a Tetris. Open for a bar. The bar lands. Scotto's back in reason.
Aoife here with a very dusty Tetris, offset well.
Scotto's
Very
Tetris
Tetris.
ready. Aoife is not Tetris ready for the same bar.
Scotto gets the long bar. Just half a Tetris difference between these two players, but you know, sometimes that's all you need. A Tetris, and Scotto will take the lead for the first time in a while.
Yeah, we've seen some very clean 19 from these players.
Scotto, another Tetris,
Aoife built up high.
needs the long bar.
Choosing to plug the left here to solve it.
Scary.
This is very scary.
Scary for Scotto as well, who just hung a T up on the left.
Oh
Ooh.
no.
There's room for everything you need here. Line makes it all the way to the left. Aoife is now Tetris ready. Burns it out. T makes it all the way to the left. Line makes it all the way to the right.
Oh, covers the wall with a...
Gets the line down. She's open. She's only down by a Tetris.
A Tetris! Boom Tetris! Right.
And we are back to neck and neck.
This is exceedingly close.
What a play.
Okay. Aoife did end up spending another 5 or 6 lines over Scotto in that same time. So while we are tied here in score, Scotto does have some pace advantage, although Scotto's board does not allow him to
Another
capitalize on the
Tetris.
pace advantage, and now Aoife has maybe a true lead.
Aoife does have a 2 Tetris lead currently.
With another misdraw for Scotto, he's going to spend another 4 lines burning here. This is a really risky final.
well, it's the semifinal, final game, I guess.
Final
yeah.
game, yeah.
But these are still. I know it's
winner
strange.
of this,
but this
plays Redshurt.
I know it's strange, but this is the transition.
Aoife down onto the kill screen now. Scotto trying to get that triple down, but doesn't manage to rotate the J. The next line is also just a triple. It's 100,000 point deficit and nothing you can do.
This is
Aoife's taking game number 5 and the set and will advance to the final after doing 2 upsets.
This is what a game.
Aoife's
And
still
Aoife
going.
Mullining. Will we see a max out? Oh, 995, 300. So close.
Incredible game.
What a game.
I think that with this 805,000 point deficit, it's kind of all in on Tetris's, although...
And transition for Redshurt.
Redshurt was playing on 29 earlier. We can see some
Another
of that
Tetris.
gameplay now.
Maxed out for Redshurt.
Tuk, 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 maxed out cowbell sounds.
I need a soundboard. I was saying no to the soundboard yesterday, but now I
Sydney's
think I
life
need
is